Salute to you all. The brave never fall. We focus on rest and relaxation a lot in life. Almost every person you meet, one of the best things about any day is the fact that eventually, if your day goes well, you're going to be able to kick back, relax, and rest. Rest and relaxation. We think about it when we go on holidays, vacations, the weekends, if you're fortunate enough to get weekends off as I do. And the summer months come. If you live in a cold climate during the winter months and that summer comes and that spring comes, the first thing that pops in your mind is it's time to relax. Where if you think about it, you kind of been relaxing all winter because you've been huddled up like bears in a cave for 4 or 5, in some cases 6 months. Rest and relaxation for the human mind equals comfort. It's what we desire. A lot of people, they look forward to that. That is their reward for a good hard day's work, hard week's work, and a hard season's work. If you can get to the summer months and it's time to go on vacations, you get the kid back, the barbecues start, the weddings start, everybody starts smiling, the birds come out, the sun is out longer. Feelings of joy and happiness swell up inside of us, and then we start thinking to ourselves, everything's great. We start sugarcoating things, and we start thinking, nothing can get me down. But you just forgot that you came out of a dark cloud of winter and fall, where beautiful months, I think every season is beautiful. Every season has its own tone in anyone's life. Everybody's lives are different. So what winter means to me is completely different than the next person. For me, wintertime, the coldness of winter is time for me to reflect and prepare for when the summer comes, where I thrive. I love warm weather. If I don't ever have to live in cold weather, I wouldn't. I don't mind visiting for a while, but to live in it all the time, I'm starting to get at my wits end with it. I'm from St. Louis, Missouri, and St. Louis is notoriously cold in the winter and notoriously hot in the summer. And we seemingly have fallen off our seasons of fall and spring. It's almost like we don't get those anymore. It's either super cold or it's super hot. Transition is very quick. So that mindset for a lot of people, once we come out of winter and the summer comes, seems like so quick that warm weather comes, it kind of just jolts you into everything's great, time to relax. And I caution people sometimes about wanting too much rest and relaxation. Now, you may be thinking, why is that? And the reason is this. As we have descended the mountain, we've had the apex of the mountain, and now we're coming down. We've refocused, and we're woke now. We know what we have to do. I think you should add a couple of R's to that rest and relaxation and complete your frame. 4 corners. 4 corners. And that's rest, recovery, relaxation, and reflection. Rest, recovery, relaxation, and reflection. The rest is important. You need time to just stop and take a breath. Whenever you're running or exercising, or you've been doing anything that's exerting energy and is physically taxing on your mind, body, emotions, and your soul, you do need a break. You need a little bit of a break. You just need a rest. Some people ignore it, and I think it's detrimental. You have to rest. And even someone like me who is capable of going and seemingly nonstop and being able to go at a high level and mentally be able to push myself past hurdles I never thought I could get through. But knowing that I can do that now, I have to now schedule in my rest, or I won't get it, because I don't have a problem. I actually look forward to getting after it and being exhausted. I like the feeling of it. But you have to listen to your body. Your intuition will tell you it's time to take a break. It's time to take some well-needed, well-deserved rest. Now, instead of me just sitting and resting, quote unquote, sleeping, the sleep will come. I suffer from insomnia. I can go off 3 to 4 hours of sleep a night and function at a decently high level the next day. And eventually that usually catches up with me, depending on what I'm doing, and I end up getting into this patch of where I get really tired. And I just, usually one day a week, I have a day where I just kind of catch up, quote unquote, on some sleep. I don't really think I'm catching up. I'm just enjoying the rest that I've deserved, and that I deserve and that I've earned. So with that rest, I look at rest as I'm just recharging the batteries real quick. Just recharging the batteries for the next challenge. I'm just, I'm kicking the tires and making sure that if it's like a vehicle, I'm just giving myself an inspection. How is everything feeling? I give myself enough time to see what's sore, what's ailing me. How's my mental state when I'm not just on the go, go, go? Who am I prone to want to spend time with? Do I want to be alone? What am I working on? Am I desiring just to go see a movie, chill for a couple hours and play a video game, have a drink on the deck and, enjoy the weather? What am I wanting to do with my rest? That tells me a whole lot about what I've done prior to that rest. What type of rest is my mind and my body, my heart, my soul telling me would best suit me in recharging those batteries? If it's sleep, I get to sleep. If it's reading, I read. If it's just sitting back and watching a movie or two, I do that. If it's going out and hanging out with people that I enjoy spending valuable time with, I do that. But one important thing is that it doesn't matter what these 4 R's mean if it doesn't start with you first. You can't think about other people when it comes into your rest and relaxation. That's what people who want to be comfortable. When I think about rest and relaxation, to me, that's too simple. They almost mean the same thing. It's in a certain way if you don't add in the other corners. So when you think about recovery, if you're recovering from something, that means you have gone to a level at a point in a certain period of time where you've gone not only up to your potential, but most likely past it, to the point where you need to recover. You are sore. It's like a fighter after a fight, especially in MMA. They put suspension on fighters after a fight if they got into a long war with someone else in the ring or in the octagon. The UFC management will tell them, hey, we're forcing you to sit down. You can't spar. You can't do anything until your doctor releases you or our medical team releases you. You got to come into the institute, perform for us, and we'll see how you're doing. Or just after a certain period of time, it's up to you what you do with your training. But for this period of time, we won't even look at you as far as fighting. And we really don't want you even sparring or doing anything physical because you need time to recover, or because they pay these fighters, you're damaging our property is what that sounds horrible, but that's exactly what they're saying. Like, we don't want you to damage yourself any further than you already are. You're an asset. And you have to look at yourself like that. You are an asset. If you're continuously walking around damaged because you won't give yourself a time to recover, what good are you to anyone else? If you can't show up for yourself, how are you going to show up for anyone else? So you have to be present that you value yourself enough. Again, with self-love, I always go back to self-love. If you can value yourself enough through self-love, you would see that your rest is more important than trying to please other people and trying to please your bosses and trying to please the things that you're obligated to do, but you have a choice because it starts with you first. Meaning, if you need a break, you need a break. And you don't have to apologize to that for anyone. Or that goes back to assertiveness and being persistent with your happiness. If you're not persistent with your happiness, people will take it away from you. They will drain you dry, and then when you can't do anything else for them, they'll discard you. Because you're worthless at that point. You have nothing else to give. You can't help them anymore. You've run yourself into the ground. And not only that, you run yourself underneath the ground where they're laying railroad tracks, and now there's a train running back and forth over you. People want to kick you when you're down. You have to protect yourself from that. It starts with you first. You are no value to anyone if you're a broken down, scrambled mess. You need to be sharp mentally. You need to be focused. You need to feel like you're physically fit and able and ready for every challenge. And you can't do that if you're focusing on always pleasing everyone else and not focusing all the time on yourself first. When you feel good, you'll react good. And that is a very important point with your purpose. Whatever your purpose is, if you're not physically and mentally, emotionally, and spiritually capable of doing what you're called to do, you are handcuffing yourself and then beating your own self with a baseball bat right in the legs. You're stopping yourself from even moving forward. You're essentially taking one of your hands out and choking yourself because you refuse to do the little things that will aid you in your purpose. And it really starts with you and listening to your mind and obeying what your body is trying to tell you. And the mindset of wanting to be comfortable will lead you a lot of people into a place of a little bit of comfort addiction, where you're so used to, you're looking so forward to that rest that you're getting too much of it, that you're not doing enough really to earn it. And I suffer from that. I would go and work out for 30 minutes and be like, that's good enough. Time to eat and sleep. I went through that for a long time. All that got me was weak and overweight. I thought I was good, though. I didn't realize that I was looking forward to rest so much that rest and relaxation almost became my purpose in life. Because it's a balance. What if you had a pie chart? What is the overwhelming majority of the chart for you? Is it rest and relaxation, or is it purpose? That's a visual that'll pop out in your head. Are you getting more rest and relaxation, or are you getting more purpose each day? If the answer is you're getting more rest and relaxation each day, you probably are not focused enough on your purpose, on your goals and your aspirations and your dreams, because that means you're wasting valuable, precious time that you could be learning more about your purpose, learning more about yourself. You're not showing up for other people. You're not helping enough people. You certainly aren't helping yourself. The more you are up and at it and physically engaged in your purpose, not just mentally, not just emotionally and spiritually, the physical aspect has to be present as well. With The Brave Never Fall, I preach that a lot. It's not good enough to just have 3 of the 4 corners. You got to have all 4. You got to have the mind, the body, the heart, and the soul in as perfect harmony and balance as you can possibly get it. Served first through self-love. Through that, you get freedom, and through that, you get connection with everyone else, because now you're free enough to accept your place in the society, your place in the world, your place in your individual family, your friend groups, your workplace, your church. Whatever you're doing, it has to start with you first. You have to view your body as a valuable asset, just like the UFC values their bodies. They're warriors, they're fighters. They value them. Regardless if it's with good intentions or not, they put a value on these fighters, and they say, you're too good to continue getting damaged. We need you to take time to rest, recover, reflect on what you did. So it's important, like we were talking about, rising up the mountain, getting to the apex, and now you're coming back down, and you're getting ready for the next challenge. Take a breath, relax, and reflect. And the reflection part is important as well, because once I get into a state of, okay, it's time for me to rest, the recovery is going to start as well. And for me being a runner, the physical part of it is one of the things where I have to rest, because get the stretching in, start stretching the muscles out, because training is going to come for the next race. But mentally, I have to prepare myself for all the other things that are surrounding me that have nothing to do with racing. But it is all tethered together, because it's me. So even though my body is physically recovering from a race, mentally, I'm somewhere else. I have to still deal with a work environment, being there for my family and friends, and, the work, continuing to push off all the stuff I need to do to help people with coaching them and trying to learn more and gaining knowledge each day, trying to open up emotionally and trying to feel all my emotions and define what my value and purpose is in life. You have to understand, the only way you can do that is you need time to sit back and reflect where you've been. View that mountain you just climbed over. That was an incredible feat. Anytime you've reached a goal, and I always visualize a goal as a giant, giant mountain or volcano, something that is incredibly difficult to climb. And somehow you managed to climb up and you got over it. And when you're coming back down, it'd be real easy to fall off and think to yourself, I've made it. I'm done. I'm tired. It's time to rest. Time to go on vacation. It's time to just chill and let down my guard. And the moment you do that, here comes the big boulder out of nowhere that hits you in the back of the head and knocks you back into the valley at the base of another mountain, regardless if you like it or not. And the only way you can move forward is you have to go up it. You can go around it, but what's the point? Go up the mountain. And the only way you can do that is that you have to kind of prepare yourself mentally that you're going to be enduring another huge challenge that's even bigger than the one you just passed. Because now, once you've achieved a goal, your mind and your heart, your body, and your soul are now at a level that's higher than the mountain you just crossed. So now the bar has been raised. This mountain is bigger. And it's going to take more of you to get over it, if you accept the challenge. Now, some people set up camp right at the bottom. They set the campfire and they say, I'm sitting right here, I'm resting, and I'm chilling, and I'm not going to move another foot. And that's their decision. Some people are good with their goal. They reach their goal and they get into the valley and they say, time to put down my campfire, plant my tent. I'm happy. I have water, I have food, my family's here with me, I have purpose, I can live off the land. I'm good. Nothing, absolutely nothing wrong with that. If that's that person's goal, that's what values them the most, and that's their purpose. Nothing wrong with it. We're talking about the people who aren't planting the campfire and are ready to move on to the next big challenge. They want to keep pushing and becoming an even better version of themselves. They're not content with being someone who just achieved a good accomplishment. They want more accomplishments. They want that feeling of being able to see where their lives can ultimately lead if they don't stop moving. So you have to reflect. I often reflect through meditation, and I love my type of meditation because it's all based on me being in the moment, but being able to, through my mind, go anywhere I want, even while I'm not, quote unquote, sitting down, legs crossed, meditating. I can meditate while I'm actively doing things. And I love that about myself because it's almost like multitasking. And when it's time for me to sit down and be completely quiet, which I do every single day before I go to bed, I take about 20-30 minutes where I just kind of reflect, get everything in order. I write down any words that are popping in my head. I look up things that I may want to look up for tomorrow. And that's my form of meditation. It's very pleasing and peaceful and purposeful for me to do that exercise. I always recommend to people to look up all different types of meditation routines and things you can do to get yourself in a perfect state of mind for who you are. Because meditation there are basic principles to it, but everybody's different. Some people don't need to meditate for only 5 or 6 minutes and they're back on task. Some people need a couple of hours. I'm the type of person, I just need about 30 minutes a day of true silence. Then the rest of the day, I can kind of do it on the fly. I can take moments here and there. I'm always taking moments to just stop, breathe, get my thoughts together, recharge the batteries real quick, and then I keep moving. That's just the type of person I am. I have high energy, but I know I kind of move in slow motion to people. Some people say it looks like you're in the Matrix because I'm actually moving quickly, but I don't like wasted movement, so I kind of just flow. And that's the whole thing with me. I follow Tao, and I love that aspect of flowing, like water. And one good thing about water, if you think about it, you think about water going down a raging river, and it's just moving along, and especially if you get one of those rapids where it's just, if you got caught in one, it's extremely dangerous because it can knock you anywhere. It's not incredibly deep, but it's incredibly powerful. And then it flows off in a waterfall, goes down into another big body of water, and suddenly all that rushing water becomes calm, a flat calm. And that's kind of how I view myself. I'm just kind of this raging river going around, and then I just kind of hit an apex throughout the day, and then it drops off and hits down into a flat calm. And it's water. It's forming to whatever surrounding it's in. It doesn't matter what the weather is or what's going on around it. That water is going to flow and it's going to end up in a flat calm no matter what. And then I just kind of repeat that cycle every single day. But I never lose sight of the fact that these things are necessary for me. They are extremely necessary. And having rest, recovery, relaxation, and reflection, when I think of them that way, again, I think of them as a frame. They're just, and I'm inside of the box of that frame. And when I don't have one of those elements in there, then I don't feel like I'm incredibly well suited to continue pushing on towards my goal, because I feel like there's something in there that was missing in my recovery. I didn't reflect enough. I didn't get enough relaxation. I mean, relaxation, that's a very strange word too, because I actually look at relaxation as more of what's keeping your attention while you're resting. How are you resting? And that kind of leads to relaxation. Like I feel relaxed when I can finally just shut my mind off and I'm just focused on whatever it is that I'm doing. Because resting to me is more like sleep. You're just kind of dozing off, you're cat napping. Relaxation to me is like me going to the movie theater is relaxing. Me taking a shower is relaxing. A long, hot shower is relaxing. Me working out is actually relaxing. Going for mainly low heart rate, going for a walk, that's relaxing. And then I can rest. Rest is now get the cat nap and kind of have the game on and dozing on and off, watching a show, something like that. Reading. That's kind of a little bit of a rest because it leads to it's making you get into that sleep state, that comfortable sleep state that can get you to sleep and make you stay there, hopefully. Because again, I suffer from insomnia. So any of you who can fall asleep in 1 second, I salute you. I wish I had that ability. But I don't for a reason, I believe, because I don't think I was meant to get all that much sleep because I have so much I have to do throughout the day. And that's another important part of this particular podcast episode is what are you doing with your time? And are you getting too much rest, relaxation? Are you getting too much reflection? Are you thinking too much and not doing enough action? And that's an important part as well. I mean, it's okay to meditate, but if your meditation doesn't give you any value as far as what are you doing with it after you come out of your meditation and you suddenly realize, okay, well, whatever I meditated about was a complete waste of time because I'm not doing anything with what I meditated about. If you're manifesting something, are you working towards that when you come out of your meditative state? After you rested, what are you doing to facilitate your rested body and your rested mind and your emotions and your soul? What are you doing with all that? Because you should have high energy if you rest enough. If you reflect enough, you should have a new sense of insight. You should feel empowered to get up and do something with that rest that you've earned. If you wake up and you find yourself doing a little bit, again, going back to that pie chart, what are you putting into your purpose after you come out of your rest? And a simple way to look at it is when you wake up in the morning, what is the first thing that you do? When you wake up in the morning, what is the first thing you do? If you start to get to work on something, how long do you go before you take a break? And at the end of the day, do you feel like when you go to bed, you did enough that day to earn your rest? And what are you recharging the batteries for the next day? Are you reflecting on what you did that day, the things that you said, or the things you could have done better, things you shouldn't have said, people you should have communicated better with? Could you work a little harder at your job? Did you procrastinate? Did you put off things that you know you should do as far as feeding your mind and your body, your heart and your soul? Did you learn anything new that day? Or are you going to bed every night an empty shell of what you could have been that day? One of the things that scares me the most is the mindset of having a wasted day. It drives me crazy. I don't know if I can handle it. Now, a wasted day does not mean you have to be out doing things, because I truly believe rest, recovery, relaxation, and reflection, if you did those things for a complete whole day, that is not a wasted day. That is not a wasted day. Because you know what you're doing. You chose to do these things. It became your priority and your purpose out of self-love for yourself. I love myself too much to not have this day. I've earned it. The key word is earned. It's part of your purpose. So if you have a purpose and you're working towards it and you know you're doing all the things you need to do as best you possibly can, you're trying to be the best version of yourself, you're waking up every day and you're doing what you're supposed to do in your purpose. Part of that purpose built into it is that much needed, well-deserved rest, relaxation, your reflection time, and your recovery. You have to get to the point where that's a built-in aspect of your purpose. Granted, you are working in your purpose. You are valuing yourself. It's coming from self-love, and it's not coming from a place of, I just want to be lazy today. If you strung together a long period of time where you're getting rest, relaxation, recovery, and reflection every day for a long period of time, and you haven't done anything towards what all of that should empower you to do, enlighten you to do. You should have all the strength and the mental clarity in the world to do what you need to do, and you're still not doing it. You're still loving and bathing yourself in rest. And the clock is ticking because, again, you don't know when you need to be at the highest state of your mental capacity when disaster strikes, when it's time to be called to action, when it's time to serve other people. When you are called upon to do something that you weren't expecting to do, when it's time for you to emotionally engage in something or someone that you were not planning on. Because life is not going to hand you a flyer and say, on this date at this time, this is going to happen. If we all could prepare like that, we would all be good. But we don't know. We don't get flyers. You don't get a flyer in life that warns you of impending danger, of a broken relationship, of a toxic person. You don't get to turn on the news and have it specially prioritized to your needs, where the newscaster says your name and then strings off a bunch of stuff that's going to happen to you like it's the weather that day. It doesn't work like that. So you have to mentally prepare yourself for anything, which is why when it's time for me to recharge the batteries, I kind of go into it thinking this rest, this recovery, relaxation, and reflection period is serving a purpose. It's part of my purpose. It is not disconnected. This is not a reward. This is not a vacation. This is just as much my purpose as my purpose actually is when I'm physically, mentally, emotionally, and my soul is connected to engaging in that purpose. Your purpose doesn't turn off just because you're asleep. It's a component of your purpose. You need to be able to function. You need mental clarity. You need insight. You need knowledge, wisdom. You need your body to be able to perform. You need to be healthy for yourself. You need to know that you're capable and able of providing for the people around you who rely on you, especially if you have children or a spouse and you're a person of high leadership in your workplace. If people are counting on you, you don't have time to sit around and twirl your thumbs, staring out the window and hoping things get better for you. Everybody gets down on themselves. Everybody has a period of time where they feel like things could be better, but they're not. So what are you doing in those times where things aren't as good as you would like them to be? Are you getting too much rest, recovery, relaxation, and reflection when you should be actively out seeking the building blocks to build your new path? If you're at a crossroads and you feel like you've been sitting in place in stasis way too long, that utopian tree on top of the hill that is about to get chopped down by a bunch of people who want to turn you into firewood, have you been standing in place too long? Have you been getting too much rest? Have you been getting too much relaxation? Are you feeding your mind? Are you engaging in your emotions and trusting your intuition? Are you living your purpose through self-love? Look at your pie again. Are you resting more than you are active? If you are, ask yourself why that is, and if that is benefiting your purpose in life. Or if you haven't even found your purpose, you definitely should not be resting. If there's a goal that you are wishing to achieve that is huge, you definitely need to be doing more active work than resting. You have to take control of your life through self-control. Take control of your discipline through self-discipline. You have to respect yourself and value yourself, or no one else will. The people who count on you, you're letting them down when you're letting yourself down. The better you feel about yourself, the better equipped you are to actually go on out in the world and serving other people. But you can't do that if you're not serving yourself first. You have to think of yourself first. It's not a selfish thing to do that. But you also cannot get into a state of, I'm way too comfortable for my own good right now. Way too comfortable. I need to push the envelope a little bit. I need to know what uncomfortable feels like, because when true circumstances come where I'm going to be extremely uncomfortable, I'm not going to know what that feels like. I'm not going to know what that feels like because I've been living way too comfortable for too long. For far too long. It's time to change things up. At this point, when you're coming down that mountain and you've rested, you've taken your deep breath, you reflected, you know what you have to do, you got to get back up. Kick the dust over that fire, look at that new mountain, that new goal, and say, I'm coming after your ass right now. And I'm not going to stop until I get down the other side of this mountain, this volcano. This volcano might erupt at the very apex, and when I get up there, I know this may happen, and I'm still going to go. The volcano's already starting to smoke. You know there might be a problem up there. It's a challenge. It's a goal. It's not supposed to be hard. When you view any rest, recovery, relaxation, reflection in that sense, that you're preparing for something that is an essential part of your purpose, now you look at rest in a completely different mindset, in a completely different frame. It is not for you to be comfortable. It's for you to serve your purpose. And only that. You have more work to do. Far more work to do than laying your head down on the pillow, sitting on the couch looking out the window, sitting in a restaurant every day, eating and watching everyone else around you enjoy their lives, and you're sitting wondering, what is there in life for me? It's out there. Don't waste your precious time wondering. Take it. Go out, look at the volcano. The mountain's behind us. We're conquering the volcano now. Time to put on our big boy or big girl pants. And if no one else has told you this today, I love you. You deserve to hear that. Salute to you all. The brave never fall.